Wow, that's a lot of people. It's a bit impressive. Thank you very, very much for coming today on this 4th demo day of Le Wagon, and on a super rainy day, actually. And also, thanks a lot for kind of killing your Friday night and to be here with us. We are really, really happy to welcome you. My name is Sylvain, for those of you who don't know me. And together with Paul, we started Le Wagon in Tokyo a little bit over a year ago. We actually celebrated our first anniversary a few weeks ago. We are really happy to welcome you tonight. First of all, before we jump into the pitches, because that's why we are all here for, I would like to know how many of you have never heard about Le Wagon? Okay, yeah, don't be shy, it's fine. I'm gonna explain it anyway, you know. So we started Le Wagon, as I was saying, a year ago in Tokyo, and the reason why we started Le Wagon in Tokyo with Paul is before we launched it, we were going to a lot of events, a lot of startup events, and we were talking to a lot of entrepreneurs. And so those events were startup events, entrepreneurship pitch events, and while talking to those wannabe entrepreneurs, what they were saying is, I really want to start something, but I don't have the tech skills. I don't know how to start. I cannot build things myself. So that's the mission that we gave ourselves by bringing Le Wagon to Tokyo. We wanted to give to those wannabe entrepreneurs the technical skills to build things, to be able to launch their product. So that's our mission. Thank you. No problem. So that's what we want to do with Le Wagon. Tonight, you are going to witness what our students are building in 9 weeks of coding bootcamp. So that's what Le Wagon is. Le Wagon is first and foremost a coding bootcamp. Throughout 9 weeks of full stack program, what we teach to our students is all of the technical skills that they need to build fully functional web products. They learn Ruby, they learn Rails, they learn front-end with HTML, CSS, and at the end, they are able to build a web product, fully functional. But Le Wagon is not only about tech skills. During those 9 weeks, our students also learn how to prototype a product. They learn how to work in teams, and it's not easy, believe me. We have some examples of that. We have arguments, things like that. So they learn how to work in teams, and they learn how to use all of the tools that professional developers use on a daily basis. So I'm thinking about, maybe some of you know GitHub, maybe some of you know Slack, all of these tools that professional developers use on a daily basis and that are going to be useful after for our students when they start a job. And we think that this mix of technical skills, technical knowledge, and soft skills basically change their mind and open them to new opportunities. So tonight, our students are going to pitch 5 products to you. Those products have been built in 9 days, only 9 days. So throughout those 9 days, our students went from concept to design to prototyping to coding a fully functional web application. We have a few, how many developers do we have in the room, or people who code? Yeah, I guess, yeah, in the back. I guess for those of you developers thinking about developing those tools in 9 days, it's an impressive feat. And when you consider that most of our students did not have any technical skills before, it's probably even more impressive. We had a really, really good journey with our students. It's always a bit of a heartbreak to go through that day because it's full of emotions. We sometimes start at 9, sometimes start at 10. But we have classes every day, we meet every day, and for 9 weeks we meet people on a daily basis and really live together to be able to build those products. So I'm sure you're going to be really happy to see what our students have been able to deliver. Before we move to the pitches, and before we actually get into the action, I want to talk a little bit about the partners, the people who help us on a daily basis. So first of all, I would like to thank Impact Hub a lot. Unfortunately, Misaki, the community manager, is not here today. Impact Hub is the space that we are in. They are welcoming us every day. They help us for our events. We run events pretty much every week. We have talks, we have workshops. And basically, they are somehow part of Le Wagon. They help us on a daily basis. And we really want to thank them. Secondly, we want to thank, obviously, all the people who came here to give talks, the partners who are, some of them, hiring our students, and the people who are supporting us on a daily basis. And lastly, we also want to thank Brussels Beer because they are really also, let's say, supportive in a way of what we do. They are providing, sponsoring, in a way, our events. We had our first anniversary with them. So without further ado, I think I'm going to pass the mic to ST right now. And yeah, Esteban, please come on stage and please give him a round of applause. We're going to listen to Travel Meet Play.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Esteban, and joining me here tonight, my amazing teammates, Nozomi and Zach. So to get started, I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm from Colombia. And when I used to live there, I used to travel a lot through South America. Then 7 years ago, I moved to Australia. And when I was in Australia, I was able to travel to Southeast Asia. I visited different countries. I experienced new cultures, different cuisines. And it was an amazing experience because one of my passions is traveling. I had a really good time. And the only thing is, I have another big passion, which are sports. I like going to the gym. I like running in the mornings, and I play Ultimate Frisbee. Maybe only some of you know Ultimate Frisbee because it's quite niche, and we can talk about that later. But the thing is, it's a sport that I really like. But there's a problem. Every time I travel, I have to stop playing Frisbee because for many reasons, but essentially I do not know anybody in the other countries that I travel to, or I don't necessarily speak the language. So if I can share a quick story with you guys, a few months ago, I went to Hong Kong for 3 days. And some of my friends told me, oh, you know, the Frisbee level over there is really good. You should try and find someone to play with. And I started doing some research a month before my trip. And I really couldn't find anything, maybe because there was no information in English, or there was just, it was really hard for me. And only 3 days before the trip, a friend of mine put me in touch with a friend of a friend of a friend, like a really long chain. It was like, oh, there's this guy who can hook you up to, you know, find the game and you can play. I ended up playing, but it was really hard for me to be able to do it. So this is where Travel Meet Play comes in. Travel Meet Play has allowed me to find locals wherever I go. So in this case, now that I'm here in Tokyo, that are hosting games around the city or the places where you are for foreigners. And it's a really good platform. So when I go into the dashboard, I start seeing that there's a lot of things going on around me. There's basketball games, there's golf games, there's cricket games, there's everything. But my sport is Ultimate Frisbee. So the platform is quite dynamic. I go into the search bar, I type in Frisbee because that's what I want to play, right? But because the platform is widely used, there's a lot of Frisbee games. I live just up the road here, so I want to find something that's in Meguro, right? I don't necessarily want to commute that far. So I go ahead and I search for Frisbee games in Meguro. And I recently found a game that's being hosted by Zach, and it's actually this guy named Zach, and it's happening tomorrow. So what I do is very easy. I go into the details of the game. I can see that he's organizing it. He's opened it up for 6 more players. There's 2 players that have already joined in. And the beauty of it is that he mentions that to hire the fields, which is something that I really don't know in Japan because I don't speak Japanese, and I've only been here for 3 months. To hire the fields, we need to pay 700 yen. But before I go ahead and book it, I probably should know who Zach is, right? I'm not just going to join some random guy that I found online. for a frisbee game. So I look into his profile. I can see that he likes going to the gym, he plays football, and he's got a pretty advanced level of frisbee. He's been in Japan for 3 years. So I'll go back to the event and I'll just ask for him to approve me as a player for his game. The cool thing about the platform is it's connected via Stripe to make the payments, so I know that my credit card details will be secure. And that also shows him that I'm committed to joining the game, right? So what I do now is I wait for Zach to approve my request, or maybe reject it if he doesn't like me.
So hey everyone, my name is Zachary. I'm from France, but I've been living in Japan for 3 years now, so I do consider myself local. So I'm really passionate about traveling, and I really love sports. I particularly enjoy meeting new people and discovering people with different cultures and people who come from different countries. And so before coming to Japan, I was actually traveling, and I really used Travel Meet Play a lot to be able to play sports and meet different locals from the countries where I was in to play different sports and join different events. But now, ever since I've been living in Japan, since I know the language and I know how things work here in Japan, I'm able to actually host those events and organize those matches and games for different travelers who come to Tokyo. And so, throughout the last year, I've been organizing a lot of different events. I've been organizing matches and games, and I've been meeting people through sports. So it's kind of a win-win situation, because for me, I get to play with people from different backgrounds, and I get to experience different skills. And for them, I kind of solve the issue of language and booking issues that can arise when someone travels to a foreign country. So a few days ago, I organized a frisbee event. Actually, me and my friends are going to play in Meguro, and we need 6 more people. So I kind of advertised the game on Travel Me Play, and I said I'm looking for 6 new people, travelers, and actually 2 people already joined the event. And I just got an email from someone named Esteban. Travel Me Play has sent me a notification telling me that someone named Esteban wishes to join the game. So before I approve him, I think I'm going to go check out his profile, because I want to make sure that I want to play with him. So I go into his profile and I see, okay, his name is Esteban, he's from Colombia, and he seems like a really nice guy, pretty friendly. He seems very athletic, plays a lot of sports, and it seems like his frisbee skills are actually quite impressive. So it would be really interesting to play with him, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and approve him.
Great. So the platform is quite dynamic, and I actually just got an email from Travel Me Play saying that Zach has approved my game. And there's a really cool functionality about it, and it's when I go to my events, to my dashboard, I can see all the games that I've played before. I can see the games that I've hosted before as well. Actually, last night I went to a bowling game in Shibuya, and I forgot to review the girl that hosted it. So it's a very quick thing. I just put in a review for her, and then all the travelers that are coming, all the travelers can see her profile, and they can see how good of a host she is, because there's a rating system. So that'll give them the confidence to know that she's a good host or not a good host. So the other thing I would do is then, now that Zach has approved me, is I'll just go into the platform and I can simply send him a quick text and say, hey Zach, thanks for approving me. Look forward to the game.
So I'm going to go ahead and reply to him, telling him that I'm excited to meet him as well. So I'm going to say, looking forward to it. Drink some water. Because it's going to be hot.
So very simple, sure, I'll see you then. And It's that simple. I'm going to be able to play Ultimate Frisbee in Tokyo without the need to speak Japanese or knowing how to book the fields or knowing anything, because sports are a universal language. I don't really need to speak the language to be able to play it. Thank you. I thanked them at the beginning.
Oh, okay. I think we have time for one question, so pick it well. Anyone has a question? Okay, if no question, I think we'll thank Travel Meet Play, and I think we're going to bring our next team on stage.
My profile didn't show.
Team Clairvoyance with someone presenting. Welcome, someone.
Okay, thank you all for coming. Oops, this isn't on. Thank you all for coming. So I'd just like to start with a question. Who here has a great idea for a product or service that you are looking to launch? Hands up. Yep, at the back, at the front. Okay, no one? Okay, so yeah, so my name is Salman, and I run an ad agency. And in our business, we're all constantly looking for creative, small startups that we could take as our clients. And in digital marketing in particular, we're looking for small startups that are not only creative, but have the potential to grow. So we want the freedom to look for these startups and pick them. So we're looking for unique ideas. And today, I'd like to show you Clairvoyance. It is the platform where ad agencies could come in and bid on small businesses. So if you are a small business owner, or you feel like your digital product needs, or your physical, it could be anything, needs more exposure, you could use this platform. And I'd just like to go through two parts of our platform. It's the side of the small business and the side of the ad agency. So if you have a small business, you could immediately jump on our platform, and you'd be able to, so the platform is designed to offer you the chance to create a different campaign for each product or service that you have. So you might be launching 2 or 3 products, but you don't really want the same digital marketing campaign for all of those products. You might have a different target audience for each product. So immediately you'd be able to see all of your campaigns that you submitted, and you'd be able to put in a new campaign. So we worked very closely with the Clairvoyance team to ensure that the form on this website hits the topics that ad agencies want to see. So we ask questions like, what is your target audience? What are your current metrics? Have you worked with digital advertising agencies before, or is this your first time? Did you have a bad experience? And why did you have a bad experience? Why are you looking to change your digital marketers? And even if you have no experience with digital marketing, you can quickly go through some of the requirements, and it's tailored so that the ad agency gets what they're looking for. So here you could see once you submit your campaign, it immediately appears, and instantly it's on our platform, and ad agencies could bid on it. So I'd like to emphasize the bidding part. We're going to touch on the ad agency part in a second, but as a small business, you basically receive bids. So that's another side of this platform. You'd be able to see all the ad agencies that have placed bids. That being said, the bids aren't always equal to the budget that you would emphasize. So obviously, we'd ask for a budget so the ad agencies could know what they're working with. But if they feel like it's a bit too low, they're probably going to justify that in their bid. You can they'd upload their contract, and you could see some of the previous work that they've done. And that's basically that's the main story for the small business, but we also offer a little small component for people who want to try marketing by themselves. So we list some of the main digital marketing platforms if you want to try and experience it yourself. if you want to get a hang of like what digital marketing metrics look like first, then you could do that as well. So the other side of our platform is what ad agencies see. And this is what really adds the value, because ad agencies are constantly looking for small businesses that they can have as clients so that they could make more money and they could have a stronger portfolio. Small businesses also need that exposure. So the platform really puts you in touch with the right people. Let's say you're marketing a product in the food and beverage industry. So you would want a digital marketing agency that has algorithms and has previously worked with companies in the food and beverage industry. They're probably going to be a bit more experienced than, let's say, an ad agency that has been marketing software. So as an ad agency, you immediately get to see the bids that you placed on your profile page, and then you get to look for campaigns that you could bid on. So you get a list of all the existing campaigns, and then you could place a bid based on your requirement. So you can search by tags, and you could see which budget fits you best. Once you pick the one that is most interesting to you, you can submit your proposal as well as any legal requirements. And then the small business, that's when it sort of gets pushed back to the small business, and they'd know that they'd receive your proposal, and until they accept it, then once they accept it, you'd be notified. So another component of our website is that once the small business accepts the ad agency, you're put in immediate contact with that ad agency to refine any specifics that you have, to talk through any specifics about your digital campaign, or maybe to familiarize yourself with digital marketing. That's basically what our website does. It connects two ends. It allows ad agencies to get in touch with small creative businesses. And if you do have a product or service that you would like marketed digitally, you know where to find the Clairvoyance team. Get in touch with them. I'd like to thank Taras on the front end and Sam over here who did the back end work. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Salman. Thank you very much. As always, we have time for one question. Not so many questions today. Oh,
There's
yes.
one question.
Oh, wow. Okay, so many. You're going to be the one.
Do you actually run that digital marketing business, or?
That was just my persona. I don't. It's a whole setup. I just worked with Sam and Tara, so.
I said good question. Thank you for that question. So I think we're going to move to the next pitch. And you guys are ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're having our body checked, I guess. So we're welcoming Check with Hessa. Please give Hessa a round of applause. And this product is going to be very, very convenient for people who are spending a lot of time on their computers bent over like that. You're going to understand why. Welcome, Hessa.
Thank you. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming. And my name is Hessa. I'm an exercise coach. So, part of my job is I assess clients. So when I take in a new client, I do an initial consultation, which takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours. I do a lot of assessments on them. One of them is posture assessment. And I'm really concerned about posture these days because people spend a lot of time sitting at their desk jobs, doing their job every day. And they're not aware of their posture. So good posture increases your blood circulation. It will make you think better. It will make you feel better. So basically it will make your whole life better. And on the other hand, bad posture could, people are not aware that it could lead to depression, and it could lead to a lot of injuries like disc herniation, and worst case, it would lead you to a costly surgery. So I found out in my job that there are lack of tools for people to assess their posture, unless they go to a chiropractor, which is a waste of time and money. And also, there are lack of tools for people to be notified to sit up straight. So I came across this really cool app called Check that I want to show you. So let's start. So first, you'll have the camera out, and the instructions clearly out there. You'll have to adjust the camera so that it takes a whole side image of you from your feet to your head. Once that position is okay, you can go ahead and click the button. It would give you 5 seconds to get into position. Great. Then you can assess yourself by clicking on the ear, the shoulder, the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Then you can get your results. What's really cool about this application is you don't need the help of anyone. It's just you and the computer. So, yeah. Yep. You'll have your photo on the side and the angles. So the optimal angle is 180 degrees. So basically our body has to be straight and in position. That would help the joints. And yeah, here you can see if it's orange, it's within range. If it's red, it's really bad. And if it's green, it's perfect, the numbers. And if you want some more features, you can sign up. That would take you to your profile page. You can compare your progress. This was after 9 weeks in Wagon. Really bad posture. And then you can use Check to improve your posture. So based on the angles, you'll have exercises recommended for you. And the posture tip is changes every day, like tips to improve your life. And the records are to keep track of your progress. And Check It is a really cool feature in this web application. So you can set it to 15 minutes or 30 minutes, and you just keep your profile page open, and it will just remind you to sit up straight. So it's like a notification to always remind you. So yeah, sit up straight. I'd recommend this web application for everyone to use, for all my clients to use, and I think that you should all check it out. Finally, I'd like to thank my team, Kevin, Henry, and Juan for the backhand. Yeah.
So for those of you who wonder, Hessa is actually an exercise coach. This is not a person. Does anyone have any question? Yeah, please. Can you talk loud? Yes.
Yeah, great job, thanks. Can you say a little bit more about the posture analysis? What kind of data you use to compare the actual posture of the person and the recommended posture?
So, posture analysis, this posture analysis or the one, yeah. So basically, it has to be a straight line from your ear to your ankle, from your ear to your shoulder to your hip, knee and ankle. So I didn't really understand the question, but
We did a lot of tests for that individually, and some of us failed really bad, including me. Thank you very much, Tessa. Awesome.
Thank you.
We have 2 more pitches to go, and I'm not going to spoil Adam's introduction. Where is Adam? I'm not going to spoil your introduction, but this is not just another dating app. So Adam, please come here. Please welcome Adam. And
Okay. Hello. All right. My name is Adam. I'm from California. I've been into anyone from California? Yeah. Nice. I've been in Tokyo for 9 weeks. This is my first time to Japan. And recently I tried something called Gokon. Does anyone here know what Gokon is? Some of you, okay. So for those of you that don't know what Gokon is, it's basically a popular trend of group dating in Japan. And the reason why it's popular is that there's a lot of people who are just too busy to make plans, and they'll just join someone who's already made a Gokon and group date. And what's nice about that is instead of going on a date with one person, you get to meet 5 guys or 5 girls at the same time, right? So I went on this Gokon, and I was very excited to go. And I still had a lot of fun, but there were a couple things that I didn't like. And one, there were way too many dudes. And secondly, it was being held in kind of a dark basement. And I thought that was kind of weird. And I also, and third, I paid 10,000 yen, which was a lot more than I was expecting. And then on top of that, I had to pay for the women's part of the bill as well, which I wasn't expecting. So it was not what I was expecting. And I wanted to know if a lot of people in Japan felt the same way. So we have actually a clip for you. Let's run that. It's Matt, yeah.
In Tokyo, you're going to be working 8 to 12 hours every day. You don't really have time to go up to your own events, make your own arrangements, so the plan just streamlines the whole process of getting to meet someone.
And it's not like when you're going out with your friend when you know what you're expecting. You don't know what to expect, and then you get there, and then it's really like a bad experience. So then it's just a big waste of time when you go with people.
I found that very awkward. Instead of that, you want to just casually have a dinner, just like, you know, just kind of talk about like, your career, what your interest is, besides that you want to date.
You say in the case of Porker, I was working in like that shop trading company, very typical type of Japanese company. So I had to pretty much bring girls from my same university to introduce my second.
I just know like how my personal information is already included in the group chat because maybe there's some guys to agree number to. I was pissed off a couple of times when I brought a bunch of cute girls, or my guy friend brought a bunch of, no offense, guys.
So notice some of the comments. One is that you don't know what you're expecting, you don't know who you're going to meet, and you don't know what to expect for the Gokon. So we set out to try to make a Gokon experience even better by bringing catered experiences to you on our platform, making sure that one, it's of decent quality, and two, you'll know exactly what you're going to get, and you'll have some information of who you're going to meet. So let's get started. So today is Friday, and I really want to see what's going on with Kanpai. So let's go into that. Wow, that's a lot of options, and they already look a lot better than a dark basement, so I'm already really excited. And I'm a huge sushi fan personally, and I see that Saito is on the list, and Saito is Tabelog's #1 rated restaurant in Tokyo for sushi, so I'm gonna check that out. And I can see a really nice menu. Squid ink pasta with uni and cream. Ooh, that sounds really good. A nice sake pairing. But I could see that there's only 6 people that can attend. It looks like something that's a little bit more intimate. I'm really looking for, to meet a lot more people tonight. And I see that it's 10,000 yen. Yeah, it's a little bit more than I want to spend, so I'm going to check something else out. So I can see Motoyoshi. That seems like there's 14 people going, so I'm a lot more interested in that. Okay, wow, and it seems like there are a lot of people that are booked. I like the menu. I can see that it's near Omotesando, so it's pretty close to here. And I could see that there are 5 females that are booked and 2 males. That sounds like a lot better ratio to me. And I'm curious about who they are. So I see Masako from Japan, who's interested in traveling. I love to travel. I also see someone, Itsuko from Japan, who loves to dine, and I love dining. So I'm already really interested. I see that it's 5,000 yen to meet a lot more people. I think this is better value for my yen, so I'm going to go ahead and book this. I can see the information is right. And as he's filling that out, a little bit about the platform. Once you book, you can't cancel. And the reason why we do this is to make sure that everyone who's booked is committed to going. So now I feel really good about this, so I'm going to go ahead and book. And now I can see that Motoyoshi is on my upcoming experiences. I already booked another one in Kanto. But notice how there were 5 spots left, and now there's 4 for Motoyoshi. So I'm assuming that that's the spot that I took. I want to just double check that. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Cool, that's me, Adam, product manager for Kanpai. I like Gokon. I like to travel, and I love dining. So that's pretty much how it works. But booking the Gokon is just the first step. If you're in Japan and for an extended period and you happen to be single, I really hope you get to enjoy Gokon at some point. It is a great concept. It's a lot of fun. We think by offering it this way, we'll make it even better. And what's really cool about Kanpai Social is that you'll get to see beforehand who you're going to meet, and you'll get to know all of the experience ahead of time, and you get all this information up front before you commit, which I think is a lot better than Gokon today. I want to thank Xavier. He's our full stack developer. Hami Pham, she's somewhere, I think over there. She's the lead designer on front end. She's the one who did all this awesome visuals for us. And then I think Tino's right there. He's the one that made all of this come together and work properly. And I am Adam Bujita, and we are Kanpai. Thank you so much.
Well done. Yeah, I want to go and look on that.
Cool.
I have a few questions for that one, I guess. Yes, please.
Do you have to make a profile first? And if so, do you put like a photo?
Yeah, so the way it works is you can only sign up through Facebook. So that's how you guarantee and verify your profile information. We're thinking about pulling in a profile picture maybe at some point.
Yeah, I feel like some of the grievances in terms of your experience might still happen. Because your example was like, oh, there are 4 girls and 2 guys. And then you guys are going to jump on that, right? But if there are like more guys than girls, then girls might be hesitant because girls don't like usually being outnumbered or going alone. What if it's all guys and no girls? No one's going to sign up.
Yeah.
And also, wait, one more thing. The menu option, do the users have to input that themselves? Because I feel like people don't want to do that. Like, put the menu in. unless it's there already.
Got it. So the first question, it's a good point. We think if this was a real product that we would have just enough experiences so that you're not overflowing the users with too many things that you can book. So hopefully there's a lot more people that are interested and eager to sign up for a spot because there's just not that many than having too many spaces. And we do keep a even ratio at the very worst in terms of max spots that you can go to. The second question about creating a menu, we don't let users do that. At least that's the idea. Kanpai would cater those experiences and work with specific restaurants that are looking for people, and that would be all kind of pre-negotiated before that. So
that might be very difficult, because there are tons of restaurants.
Right. So yeah, you would hope to find a restaurant that's looking for people to come and be featured on a platform. Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to prepay before you can, right.
For example, if you're a woman and or a guy or whatever, you're the first one to say, okay, I will go to that GoCon. Nobody is here yet, but okay, I go. And then finally, there are only maybe, I don't know, 3 other person like you, and nobody of the opposite gender. Then how do you get your money back?
So are you worried about?
Finally, you're the only. I'm, for example, the only female, and no, I'm. What can I say? We are, for example, 5 females, and there is no male. How can you get your money back then?
You make a secret.
Yeah. So. If you were that 5th female that booked the seat, you would have seen that there's only 4 females who booked before you paid. So.
If I'm the first one to.
Oh, yeah. I mean that's. Yeah, I think that's something to consider. Again, if this was a real product, there would be a lot more business thought and consideration that is given into it. But you bring up a valid point. Yeah.
I just really have a quick comment. I think it's a great functionality, and what you presented obviously went off really well because everyone's talking about the business actual process behind it, which means you have a great product, so well done. Good job.
Thank you very much.
So now that today is your last day at Wagon, and you're going to get a job as a developer, I'm assuming it's going to be big money. How long is it going to be before you go to Saito? Like, when are you going to book for
I think I'm going to grab that first seat if I find opportunity. Thanks to Wagon, actually, I've been lucky to find opportunities that I am currently being considered for. So yes, if everything goes well and I get that opportunity, yes, I will be booking Saito, definitely.
That last part was not scripted, right? Really?
No,
Jared is part of our team, though. Cool. I hope you're really excited for the last one, because it is an exciting product. And for that one, I'm going to invite Ben on stage with Sugu. Please give him a big round of applause.
All right. How about a round of applause for everyone who's gone tonight? It's been really cool. One moment, some technical difficulties.
You have some jokes?
Yeah, knock knock. I didn't actually expect someone to answer. So we're going to do a little something different tonight. We're going to have 2 screens set up. We have kind of a two-sided platform that we're going to present. So just as a preview, we're going to do on left or right?
You're going to be on the left?
Okay.
Or on the right?
Well, the right. I'm on left?
Well,
Sorry, directions are no for me. Gotcha. So on the right here, I'm going to be the kind of person who needs help, and on the left is the helper. This will make sense as we go through it. Right? All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Ben. This is Sean, and in the back over there is Yusaki, and we are Sugu. So judging by the kind of makeup of the room tonight, I'm going to assume that some of us here do not speak perfect Japanese. I'm definitely one of them. So I find that in my day-to-day, I can get by pretty well with English, you know, and a few choice Japanese phrases such as "namahitotsu kudasai." But I do find that it's unavoidable that I stumble into these unplanned situations where, you know, knowing how to order a beer just doesn't get me far enough. And I would love to have access to a Japanese person right then, right there. One example of that for me was last week. I've been pretty sick. Hay fever is pretty bad here. And I went to a pharmacy. And as much as the pharmacist wanted to help me, she couldn't understand the symptoms I was trying to say, and I couldn't really understand the medicine she was trying to offer me. And it would have been really nice to have access to someone who could just quickly translate for me, and I could go along my way. So situations like this is why we decided to make Sugu. So Sugu is a peer-to-peer, on-demand, ad hoc translation interpretation platform. Basically what that means is we're trying to create a platform that connects foreigners, you know, people that aren't native Japanese speakers, to bilingual Japanese. So today we'd like to take you through three major functionalities that we built. First being voice, second being in-person, and third being messaging, more like document translation. All of these have been kind of structured in order to close the communication gap. So let's go to voice first. Let's move back to that pharmacy that I'm at. I'm talking to the pharmacist. I can't get through, but good thing I have Sugu. So I open my phone, go to the website, and if I'm logged in already, this is the first page I see. This is our navigation page. And here, it's very simple. I just click on the phone, and an easy form comes up. You know, lets the helper know what I need. So I need pharmacy help. And I think I need about 10 minutes. So I get to see immediately how much I'm going to have to pay. I submit the form. And before I do that, we're going to go switch over to the helper side.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm a first-year university student at Waseda University. I'm bilingual and in Japanese and English. So being a university student, two things that I have: not a lot of money and a lot of free time. And I often find myself in situations helping my friends out, helping my family, anyone who basically doesn't speak Japanese, right? So I'm also a helper with Sugu. And being a helper, there's a lot of flexibility, right? I get to choose when I want to help, how I want to help. And basically, we're going to take you through that. So people like Ben, you reach out to someone like me, and take it from there. He pays me, I help him. It's a win-win situation.
So moving back to my side, I'm going to go ahead and send that request. Actually, let's wait. All right, so we see his...
As I log in, being a helper, I see a different home screen. And going online will permit me to sort of receive immediate requests from people who want immediate help, let's say through a phone call. The open jobs are for sort of appointments, which we're going to get to later. So I'm going to go ahead and go online.
So Sean's now active, and he can receive requests whenever they go out. So let me submit my form. So here I am, I'm waiting.
I have a new request from someone called Ben, and he needs help at a pharmacy, roughly 10 minutes. I could get paid 500 yen. I'm free right now, so I'm going to accept his request.
And here it comes back. I mean, we built this because I want to make sure that on the people who need help, they can, you know, be confident in their choice and know that they're going to get a good, you know, good service. So I get to do a second level of of confirmation. So I see Sean here. His rating is 4.9. That's pretty high. So I'm pretty confident he can give me a good, do a good job. So I'm going to press accept.
I see that the booking's confirmed, and now I should be receiving a call shortly.
So now it comes to me. I made a 10-minute reservation, and I'm able to call and end as I please in those 10 minutes, because in such situations, you might not need the helper to be, active on the phone the whole time. So let me make a call.
Oh, I appear to be getting a phone call. Hello? Hello? Is that Ben?
What's up?
How's it going?
Sorry, I'm sick.
Okay, that's all you need? Great.
Yeah, I'm great.
Bye-bye.
So after the call's made, and just kind of a segue, we made a concerted effort to enable VoIP calling because as someone who's in this situation, if you're traveling, if you're a foreigner from Japan, you can't get a phone, Japanese phone service. Most SIM cards only really enable voice. So we wanted to make sure that anyone, no matter what the situation, can get help. So here we have our caller. I can see how many calls I've made, how long they've been for, gets a total, and so I know exactly how much I need to pay. So I'm going to go ahead and press end.
Sorry, can't see the full screen right now.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So who wants to hear another joke?
Are you going full screen? Yeah, so can I just go full screen?
All right, yeah, so I'll press N. And after that, the transaction is pretty much finished. I go through a pretty boilerplate, payment process. Put my credit card number in, pay. But after that, we're able to do some feedback for the customer, for the helper, and let them know, how they did, and let others know that if they're good or not. So here's Sean's beautiful picture. We will. So he did all right. I think not 5-star type material, but I'll give him a 4. I guess 3.5. And then now, so we're back on the nav page, and I'm ready for my next time I need help.
So phone calls are great, and they can help in many situations, but there are times where you actually need someone in person with you, whether it's to fill in a form, you say you're signing up for a new gym membership, or you want to get a register for a phone or internet, whatever it may be. Sometimes you actually want someone to be in there with you, which is why we have a second route, which is to actually meet someone in person. We're going to take you through that right now.
All right, so an in-person thing, let's say, I've been living here for 9 weeks, basically on a beer and ramen diet, and I think it's getting to a point where I might need to go to the gym. So I've heard from people that signing up for a gym membership is kind of daunting if you're not Japanese or can't read or write Japanese because talking to the person who signs you up, it needs to be Japanese, blah, blah, blah. And there's forms and everything associated with it that might be needed to be written in Japanese. So I want to go sign up at the gym tomorrow. I'm going to be done with the Wagon. I'll have a lot of time on my hands. So let's do tomorrow, I'll say around noon. I just put how long I think. Hopefully an hour, let's see. But the price is a little steep. I've been unemployed for a long time, so let's do 30 minutes. So I just say where I want to go. Let's say Meguro Station, just have a quick meet. And I submit the request.
So being a student, I have no plans for this weekend. Don't have to study, obviously. So I'm going to see if I can help someone and make a little money. So go back to my nav page, and I've checked to see any requests. So Ben at Meguro Station, let me check this one out. So gym sign up, okay, tomorrow, 8:22. That seems okay. I'm gonna go ahead and help Ben.
So for me, if it's, I'm just checking to see if things are ready, I'll go to my bookings and I'll see, oh great, Sean has accepted my request.
So now, fast forward to Saturday. I'm going to help Ben out and quickly tell him, hey, I'm here. He knows.
Oh, Sean's here. Cool. I'm here too. Let's meet at the south exit. That's lots of time, Mark. I don't know how to use apostrophe.
So now that I've met Ben, I'm going to go ahead and start our meeting. Hey, Ben.
What's up?
Okay, that's just about all the hell you want. Let me go ahead and end it.
Cool. And I just want to point out, I mean, we designed the features so the helper has full control in terms of when he thinks the appointment starts, and he's able to end it as well. The moment he hands it, I get sent to the payment site, and it's kind of the same flow that we showed you before. So past that, we have a third option, which is basically document translation. I mean, it also allows you to send any kind of picture that you would need translated in a future time. I'm not going to walk you through the entire flow, but I mean, it's basically similar to the other two things we showed you tonight. You submit your request, someone can help you. But there are a lot of services that offer that at this moment, so we don't really see it as the coolest feature that we offer. We just wanted to have a complete solution to kind of help people in most type of ways that they need.
Thank you, Ben. So we've just taken you through the 3 primary means of communication, which encompasses the vast majority of problems that someone in need of help may encounter. So firstly, as we went through it, through the phone, if you don't necessarily need someone in person, or if you don't need like a document translated and you just want to quickly call them, phone is perfect for you. Secondly, if you want actually someone to be there, let's say the phone's in Japanese or something like that, you have that option too. And lastly, as many other translation services have, the ability to, let's say, translate a document or what have you. So what's really unique about Sugu is the fact that, I mean, the on-demand aspect, it's really, we focus on the immediacy, we focus on the ability to actually meet someone. And the peer-to-peer aspect, we're not hiring, but you can be a professional translator, but you don't have to be. It can be a student, it can be anyone, right? And to us, that's really quite unique. Then in terms of applicability, right now there's close to 2.5 million foreigners living in Japan. In Tokyo alone, I mean, about 4% of the population is foreign. The influx of tourists is also constantly on the rise, and with the 2020 Olympics coming up, the demand for a service like Sugu is greater now more than ever. So, thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions? Yeah, sure. Or, I mean, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have like a multi-layered question. So the
Awesome.
first thing is, how are you going to attract your initial user base? Because if they're bilingual people, then if they're not getting any jobs because no one needs help, they're going to tune away from your platform. There are people who need help, and there are no bilingual people, they're not getting the help they need. Second thing, how are you? What are you basing the pricing on? Because let's say like, helping someone with a bank account is a lot more difficult than helping someone with a pharmacy call. Like, don't they get more money? Shouldn't they get more money? It's harder, right? And then the third thing, other than the rating system, how do you verify someone's Japanese ability? Because like people can get away with bad Japanese as long as they can get their idea across. And the person won't know the difference if they need help.
Sure, so we'll go one by one. So for the first one, I mean, you're describing, and to reiterate, it's like, how do you have both sides, because one, is going to want to use it, the other side. I mean, that's a classic chicken egg scenario for any kind of multi-sided platform like Uber, Airbnb, what have you. I mean, I don't have the magic bullet yet, nor do any of those companies, but it's something we're very aware of. I mean, what they've done in the previously has just had great funding and just given free credit and get critical mass on one side and hope the other side will follow.
Yeah, additionally, I mean, for a student, to sign up, you don't need to pay. Completely free. So, especially for students, there are a lot of people, not only in Japanese language schools, universities, whoever you may be, the fact that you don't need to pay to become a helper, in a sense, why not sign up if you can earn money from this platform.
Yeah, I mean, it's an on-demand service, right? So just kind of like the pitch to Uber drivers. You don't have to work when you don't want to. It's an easy way to make some quick money. To your second question, which was the payment structure, right? The pricing? Yeah, so I mean, we've only been really working on this for a week and a half. I mean, obviously, in terms of key inflection points of marketability for this product, pricing is obviously, really important. And complexity is definitely something that really matters. But I mean, for now, I mean, there's books about it. We need to kind of sit down and really think about it. But thank you for that. That's really fair.
Yeah, additionally. So the pricing for phone, firstly, is different from pricing for in-person.
Oh.
And yeah, sorry, we didn't, I mean, it's a short presentation. We can't really touch on every little aspect of it. But also it goes by time. There's going to be an initial fee no matter what. That let's say if you're under 10 minutes, you're going to have to pay, I don't know, 500 yen. Then for every additional minute, you start counting, right? But it is a fair point that we need to have different prices based on the type of help you're giving.
And your last one was?
It's just
the rating.
No, yeah, the rating.
Oh no, the validating the Japanese ability. Yeah, again, this is something that from a business process standpoint is really important, right? That we haven't had enough time to suss out. But I mean, there's obviously got to be some type of vetting. I mean, I think depending on the level of translation needed, there's different levels of translators that you need as well. So there's definitely some layers that we can add there. But I mean, there's always going to have to be at least an initial phone screen, some type of competency check.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wait, last thing.
Mm-hmm.
For your revenue, will you get a cut of every transaction? Or?
That is yes. That's our revenue model basically. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
no problem.
Anyone else?
Yeah. I think you did a really good job. Was there any particular reason why you decided to have them pay after the transaction as opposed to when creating an account? Why not just have have your card on the profile? So because I mean, if I get service and I just bail, right? How are you going to get that compensation back?
So I mean, in terms of like a production level product. That's why we have an estimated price and a final price. You would probably want to do a credit card hold and off initially, but because you're not really locked into how much you think it's going to take, it's going to actually be how much it actually does take, which is why we have the timing feature. You're going to be billed for what you actually get charged for. And if you've used Uber or any other kind of service that has payment after service is completed, it's going to be attached to your account. You're not going to be able to do anything else until you actually complete that payment, or you'll be banned.
I think you did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. Just related, for example, when I buy in Amazon, so you pay first, and you have the promise somehow that they are going to deliver you. But somehow you have different decision. You are helped, and then I pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if I in Amazon, I receive the good and I pay. Is there a special reason for that, or you like?
Yeah. I mean, as Ben just pointed out, that we could have it sort of locked. That you can't escape that initial fee, but it can be overridden based on the actual duration, right?
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, I mean, it's like, because what you're buying from Amazon is a fixed, tangible good. What we're selling is time, which is variable based on what you're getting served by. So I mean, if I paid for 30 minutes up front and only needed 10 minutes, I'd feel kind of hard done by if I had to pay that full money.
You consider that you help me and I don't push the button, I don't pay you, what you will do with me?
Yeah, so like any service like that, there'll be a lock on your account where you can't make another request until you pay, all that kind of basic flow.
Define the question. Yeah, so again, a lot of business process questions, which is good, means you guys have a good product. So I'll ask you about the process. I mean, you guys just started doing this 9 weeks ago, right? So
2 weeks.
9 days ago.
Yeah.
9 weeks you started learning, and 9 weeks you started building it 9 days ago, right?
Yeah.
So what a great job. I just want to say hats off. But what was the most interesting thing you learned along the way, or what was the most fun to start digging your hands into? And tell me about the process.
With building this, or with the program in general?
I think it was just like pushing our boundaries, knowing that, well, firstly, 9 weeks ago, there's no way we were going to do any of this. But just as the project was going along, we wanted to constantly take on something new, take on something harder, and then just be like, look, what can we actually do? Is there like a limit, like to some type of API or whatever it might be that we can't incorporate? or are we going to get everything in there, everything we want that's actually relevant? So I think it was super rewarding to kind of not know what we were capable of and then conquer that.
And also, I think being able to work on something that we have experienced, like having a need for. A lot of people in the class need some, interpretation help and translation help. And
It's him. This is the guy.
Like every other day to help someone translate and interpret. So, like for me, it was really cool to be able to work on something where I could make money in the future.
Definitely not from us, though.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's my turn. It is a lot of people. Thank you. So I'm not going to pitch anything. I'm just going to say really good job to all the students. For the little backstory, we do a lot of rehearsals during the past 2 weeks. And every time that we rehearse, we see a new version of the platform. That's a new iteration all the time. And to be able to see the change and the evolution and the work that has been done and provided inside the product, it's very impressive. What you saw tonight was very different from what we saw yesterday. There are a couple of features that we even didn't know about, thinking about the chat for the final project. So really good job for that. That was amazing. Merci. Merci. And as usual, I would like to say a special thank you to the people who helped you to do that, the amazing teaching team that we have here. This time there's a lot of names again, so I need my little paper again. And this time we had to help you, to debug you, to support you, to cheer you, to be here for you. We had Forrest, we had Maria, we had Rob, Edward, Hide, James, Jared, Carla, Jan, Shino, Nick, and Yuri. And I think most of them are in the room right here, so yeah, you deserve a big round of applause. And I just hope I didn't forget anybody. So before we close everything, you've seen what the 17 students have been able to produce after 9 weeks. Some of them will stay in Japan, and some of them will be looking for a job. Some of them have been lucky already, which is nice to see. But if you have any needs for your company, for a developer, for a project manager, if you need help on your project as well, feel free to get in touch with the students tonight. Don't miss the opportunity. You can always ping us as well if you have any needs. Either me or Sylvain will be happy to direct you to the good person. And finally, so this is a wrap for the 4th session already in Tokyo. So far we've had in 1 year around 60 students already for over 15 different countries. So it's always a really nice mix of people and spirits. And the next one will be starting in April. So in exactly 1 month. I see some faces that's going to be here in this room for 9 weeks very soon as well. And the next one will be starting in July. So we have still a couple of open seats for these 2 sessions. If you have any interest, if you have any questions, again, feel free to get in touch, and we'll be happy to share more information. And that's a wrap for tonight. So please do enjoy the beers that we'll prepare over there in the back. Do enjoy the food that's coming in a minute as well. And see you very soon for the next session. Thank you very much for coming.